Thank you, Ed. Our platform is on the back. I'm not going to discuss that here. I obviously don't have a record to talk about, so I'm going to take the time we have today to tell you who I am. Is that better? Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do is take this opportunity to tell you who I am, and hopefully, once you knew who I am, then the question is, do you develop trust with me in terms of being the first selectman for town? So I'm going to start out with what I would pledge to do as your first selectman. I would pledge to give Southbury a government that they can trust. I will bring together the best and the brightest from all parties, whether they're Democrat, unaffiliated, or Republican, that understand that their efforts in town hall are to put Southbury first. It's not party, it's what the citizens need in this town. Service above self. It will be a government that is open, honest, and inclusive. So that's what I stand for. In terms of who I am, I've been in Southbury for 35 years with my wife, Susan. Susan, would you stand up, say hello? That's Susan. Before that, I was born in New York City, Beth Israel Hospital. My father was killed in World War II, so I started life as an orphan. Unfortunately, my mother adopted or got married, and her husband adopted me. And it's been very good. I was loved by both my parents. And after 4 years of living in Brooklyn, they decided to move to Rochester, New York. I lived in Rochester up until I graduated from University of Rochester. I met my wife there. We went on a blind date. She proposed to me, and it's the truth. You can ask her later. And it was the best thing for me, believe me. And we've been married 50 years. I turned 70 in September. So I think I can relate, and not that Ed is that much younger than me, you know, but nonetheless, I think I can relate to the needs of the people in Heritage Village. So I'm going to give you some background. I have 2 children. I have 3 grandchildren. And I'm going to talk first about my community service. I was president of the Southbury Youth Baseball Program. I'm currently the president-elect of the Tribury Rotary Club, which represents Middlebury, Woodbury, and Southbury. Susan and I have run classes here in town, the Live Well program, which is a 6-week chronic disease self-management program. We run a 12-week program up at Garner, the prison up in Newtown, and it's a decision-making program for inmates, and that's a Category 4 institution. It's a maximum security prison. We're founders of the Happiness Connections that we run up at the Jewish Foundation. Susan is a member of the Southbury Business Association. I'm a member of SMART, which is the Southbury, Middlebury Acting Responsibly Together group, and the local Substance Abuse Prevention Council. We're both docents at Bullet Hill School. I'm a member of the Southbury Town Charter Revision. Susan is a member of the Zoning Commission and the Southbury Streetscape Committee. I'm also a member of King Solomon's Lodge number 7 in Woodbury. So people have been asking, John, what did you do since you left DuPont? So I'm going to give you a short overview. I was an adjunct professor at Post University, Naugatuck Valley Community College, and Tunxus Community College. I was on the advisory board of the Westchester Information Revolution Partnership, Ability Beyond Disability Rehabilitation Center in Danbury, the old Daytar. And I was also on the advisory board of the Danbury Federal Correctional Institution. I don't want to get the wrong impression that I'm always involved in prisons, but they need help. Hopefully they would get the help before they got there, but if not, we need to help them after they're there. I've also done some speaking internationally. I've given presentations in Vienna, Paris, London, and Madrid on various subjects, part of that was with DuPont and part of it was outside of DuPont. I'm the past chairman of the Danbury Community Education Advisory Council, past co-chairman of the Danbury Dropout Prevention Task Force. My 22 years at DuPont are outlined in the back in some brochures if you want to take a look at that. And then my other work experience, and specifically people have asked that. They said, John, all you did is worked at DuPont, and the answer is no. I was vice president of finance for a magazine company called International Business Magazine. David Moore owned it. He was the grandson of Joseph Pulitzer. As part of that task, we took the magazine and we formed something called International Business Network. And this is early on when the internet was just beginning. And what we decided to do was link businesses together and using chambers of commerce around the world to provide third-party verification for international trade. It worked. We linked over 10,000 chambers of commerce on this network. First of all, we had to get IBM to agree to provide the infrastructure for this so that we could communicate back and forth. We needed 4 parties to agree to work together. One was our company that brought it together. Second was the International Chamber of Commerce that was headed by Secretary General Maria Katawi. She was instrumental in working with Klaus Schwab, who is the guy that invented the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. We worked with her, we worked with the Paris Chamber of Commerce, and the Trade Information Network of the G77, and that was led by somebody from Cameroon. We did work that out. We were able to pull that together, and we got a 10-year contract with IBM. Once we launched it, we got 20 countries to join, and they represented 2.4 million companies. So that was one of the highlights of my career after leaving DuPont. I was also vice president and chief marketing officer for a privately held e-commerce site, online retailer, chief marketing officer for an expedited mail and lightweight parcel shipping service, chief executive officer for a privately held biometric security company, founder and chief executive for a privately held digital continuous color printing company, and finally, chief operating officer for an LED lighting industry here in Connecticut. So, why am I running? I'm running because I think we can do a better job in government than what's happened over the past 2 years. And I know Ed has talked about a lot of accomplishments, and I agree there have been accomplishments over the last 2 years, but I think we can do it better, and the way we do it can be improved. So the how is as important as what we accomplish. I think that's key. Another thing you need to know is when I was young, I thought I had all the answers. The older I get, the more I realize that I don't know. So I'm standing before you, running for political office, and telling you that I do not have all the answers. I know that's shocking. I know you believe me, but nonetheless, I'm telling you that. And the style that I've used in all of these positions that I've had is I've worked with the people who had the job. In other words, at DuPont, I worked with the people who did the work. I was in management. I didn't consider myself doing the work. The people did. My job was to enable them to achieve great results. The same thing is true in Southbury. We have 100 town employees. They are the institutional knowledge of the town. First selectmen come, first selectmen go. They're there to provide continuity.
Less than a minute, John.
We also have 400 volunteers that carry responsibility for the town on a daily basis, and they're very, very instrumental. So, I believe in town government based on service above self. I don't need any glory. The glory goes to the people that do the work. And I believe in a system of checks and balances that are spelled out in our town charter. And I think the town employees and volunteers need to have the respect that they deserve. I think that's critical. I give credit to those that do the work, take responsibility. If I've made mistakes, I'll tell you. And I'm an optimistic person and a possibility thinker. So hopefully now you know a little bit about who I am. So once again, as First Selectman, I pledge to give Southbury a government they can trust. I will bring together the best and the brightest from all parties as long as those individuals understand that Southbury comes first. It must be service above self. It will be a government that is open, honest, and inclusive. Thank you.